In secondary neurulation, which happens more posteriorly, the cells that contribute to the neural tube come from a population of mesenchymal cells that give rise to both neural ectoderm and paraxial mesoderm, which is the mesoderm that gives rise to the vertebra. These mesenchymal cells come together and they form a rod, and that involves changes in cell adhesion. We're going from mesenchymal cells to epithelial cells. So this is a mesenchymal to epithelial transition. Once the rod forms, cavities or lumens will form at the center of the rod through a process that's known as cavitation. And as I mentioned earlier, evidence suggests that this caudal portion of the neural tube is formed from a bipotential stem cell population. These are neuromesodermal progenitors that is capable of giving rise to both mesodermal and ectodermal, specifically neuroectodermal cells. From these neuromesodermal precursors, the cells that go on to give rise to the neural tissues will express the transcription factor SOX2, while those that are fated to give rise to mesodermal precursors express a transcription factor TBX6. Now, TBX6 represses SOX2, and in a normal embryo, which expresses both SOX2 and TBX6 in the locations where it normally should, a single neural tube forms. Now, in mouse embryos where TBX6 is knocked out, you can see that additional neural tubes form. And these results are consistent with the presence of a region at the posterior of the embryo that contains that bipotential stem cell population that can give rise to both mesodermal and ectodermal cells. Recall that there is also a transition zone where junctional neurulation takes place, and this is characterized by features of both primary neurulation, so folding of neural tube, and secondary neurulation or coalescing of mesenchymal cells. The lumens formed by secondary neurulation, as well as the regions that were formed by primary and secondary neurulation, need to coalesce to form one continuous tube. And some posterior neural tube defects are the result of the failure of these lumens to come together.